Hi, and welcome back to myself playing Disco Elysium. You've caught me in the middle of investigating a tower block. Let's tell the slowly what I've just learned.
Give me a moment.
I didn't find any counterculture people in apartment number 10. It was just a real estate agent setting up for new tenants.
I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them.
Yes, radio computer wizards are coming. They're going to save the place and the economics.
Oh, I do like wizards. And people like that in general. They have a lot to tell us about our fates.
She means clairvoyance.
Thank you. I'm off. Let's look at that first. Does that read foreclosure by Maltese real estates? And there's that hole she was talking about. The sea blows coal on wood to grey. Someone has torn down a hole. An old grocery shop in the sent its checks. So what's there left?
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbor until it happened.
Form a guess about what happened.
A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water. A straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line.
Take in the ocean.
The waves of the Martinique inlet roll over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscure the better part of the remains. What didn't fall into the ocean was used as scrap. What wasn't used as scrap was thrown into the ocean.
Look at the ruins in the water.
Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt.
Who did this damage?
The fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well. Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol. Coalition warship Archer can shoot 50 shells a minute on 20 co-aligned archers. They will reach the city in 58 seconds.
Time to go.
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier. You seem pretty cool. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Yeah, when were you last
Had
tested?
a battery of tests just last week. I'm practically a patchwork of interesting critters. Kinda like a man-o'-war.
Despite the attitude, she puts the brush aside.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil. Red dye heavy fuel oil is only used in government vehicles, or at least that's the idea.
Isn't that your government fuel oil?
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
That's some clever cultural commentary.
You ain't seen nothing yet, piggy boo.
You looking off the side, what are you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
She nods disdainfully towards the woman performing maintenance on a boat docked next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Who is she?
Isn't it part of your job to know all the illustrious personages round this shithole? She's the Wild Pines representative. Madam professional negotiator in the flesh and the flimsy linen.
Her eyes narrows to slits.
Something morbid about old ladies trying to look young.
That's rich coming from a young girl dressed up like a granny.
Aren't you a young lady trying to look old?
Oh, but that's the way it should be. The natural order of things.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. So you don't know what to write.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
Why are you so committed to defacing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
I like public art. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't mind me.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite.
Do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
The store is locked, you can't get in. The chair's new. Somebody lives back there. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy? 100 tiny feet scurry beneath the great rats of the city. Why, where, when he's basic. Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. Inside the frame, a motorcycle in repair and tools used to assemble it. Looks like there's been more construction here once decades ago. The belly of the boat shines like it's been recently painted. The real room of whirling isn't much bigger than the shop. This loop is worth more than you'll ever earn in your life.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officer. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the Board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand around. Joyce L, what does the L stand for?
Beaton, my maiden name.
Joyce L, what does the L stand for?
My maiden name.
What gave me away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it to jest.
Shake her hand.
Glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
Like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Technically, the neighboring Ozo and Fes Alamer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
Okay, if you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike.
Still, haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
She's referring to Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage.
That's not mine, it belongs to my partner, Lieutenant Kitsurari.
No matter whose it is, a motor carriage is just a tool. You need it to do your job, as I do mine. It's just a means of getting where you need to go.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Yes, I do.
Before you do, it would be better to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class? Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A? 43A, this old proletarian haunt here. As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
The synapses flesh.
This house was built before the revolution.
Okay. It is anti-centennial.
She looks at the building in her head. The people who live there now live a different lifestyle, if you know what I
I
mean.
assure you, they drove quite a hard bargain for this space. But you're right. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, lightweight, interminably bourgeois boat.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19, because that's the type of sloop it is. It's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she stands. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
I think I have a hand on the boat thing.
Good.
Tell me about the wild plains. What do you do?
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they
The
do?
Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who are the other inter-tribes?
Saint-Baptiste, LUM, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it
Why,
seems.
thank you.
How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. $20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's
Where
a
does
tremendous responsibility.
where does Wild Pines get all these
They
billions?
started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Easterlers 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentanga on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
It very helps to start off with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
Why is such a smooth system in this place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
Of all cargo, that's quite an endeavour
There
indeed.
are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, What if I want you to hear about trade
First,
secrets?
you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
The octopus that straddles Revachol, the Emergencies Act, is the cornerstone of post-war Revachol, inseparable from the world it created.
An octopus, I will slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own. I'm afraid the Emergencies Act was put in place by the same coalition government that leases the RCM the right to police East Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What is your role in this
I
precisely?
believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Oh, these talks
They're
good.
not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Tell me about this behemoth. So the strike is connected to the lynching?
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
How long have you been
I
here?
arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations. The union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not
Keep in
cool.
mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
What were their
There are
demands?
leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
It seems like they have no idea about
His
business.
defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
What does that even
It's
mean?
quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision, about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
The scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
Scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
Let's call them strike breakers. You put them there, right?
If these strikebreakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
It's not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No. A razor.
Is he that
He
bad?
is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are 2 of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself outside of the brothers
The
Clare?
Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say...
She hesitated looking for the right expression. A giant leech sucking the life out of Rockholt?
or a mob. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One thing, you said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
This forewoman, her
Sadly,
name?
the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files.
Irene?
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
What happened to this? Oh, done that. That's all I'm here for. Let's change the topic.
How else can I help?
What can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your name and badge number.
The thing is, I don't have a
What happened
badge.
to it, Detective?
I recently suffered from an unusual medical episode and lost my badge related.
See. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
I could be in it for I know. I don't remember anything this world, this city,
Oh,
nothing.
dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition. However, this isn't about my feelings. There's also protocol to consider. I'm afraid I can't say any more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
How do I negotiate my way after this?
Feelings will guide us.
But madam, I need to know about this. It's very important to me. It's the case I'm
I
solving.
assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
Yeah. I have so much else. I have only this. This is the index, is it?
The wind flaps the sail above her.
This boat, for example, and a home somewhere. I only have this case.
Officer.
I don't remember anything except this lynching. There's only this close in this lynching.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting it. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like what?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the LCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Okay, tell me about this alleged drug
It's
trafficking.
quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
What kind of ingredients are we talking about here?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
The lorries.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable.
How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
She gives you a knowing look.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Why didn't you come to the RMC earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
That's not really my area. I just want to get to the bottom of this.
Well, here's your chance.
Actually, let's discuss something else for now.
She simply nods.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality.
She pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
I just read my medical, so I'm having trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
But then I'm no doctor. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco hungover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms just at this time of year.
Tell me more about
I'm
Martinez.
not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the Blue Immensities.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her, and to humanity at large.
Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revolt?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revolt?
The great kind.
What makes Revolt great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our
Okay.
centuries.
Okay, who built this
The
city?
nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was Revolt built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why would it resolve
They
history?
say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We're standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're an unimportant place of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
She points across the water where the skyscrapers
A
raised.
collection of tall breaths behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Where are we?
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
She watches you as closely as you scan
This is
horizon.
one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
Okay, I'm going to stop this recording because I've just seen how long I've been half awake. I'm going to continue questionnaire in a moment. If you've watched this, I'll be amazed you have, considering that most of it's been me falling asleep. But yeah, thank you very much. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.